Afternoon, gentlemen, and it's late in the afternoon. And I know that you've heard from 8 ministers today and some of the finest contributors to South Africa. But I also know that it's less than 24 hours of your arrival and that most of you covered 20 hours of flight. And I hope you don't feel like you have done 12 rounds against Muhammad Ali or today even against his daughter. I think I was listening to the presentations, as a South African, of course, and I thought I would like to look at two broad categories to place those presentations, and that is one of despair and one of hope. And I think the first speaker, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, spoke about South Africa, a country 15 years ago. This country was the pariah state of the international community. The majority of our people has suffered a history of denial, of deprivation, condemned to a life of poverty, a life without hope and a life without vote. A life of immoral laws in this country, the polecat of the world, country of total despair. And listening to the speakers, I thought that one must try and place each one of their contributions. And the clear message that we got today, in my own view, that South Africa is a country of hope, and that in 6 years, this democracy established itself in economic, political, and social stability, and is making remarkable progress in addressing the imbalances in our society. The presentation on the economy by Minister Irwin generated hope, and they spoke of hope for the future. And so did Minister Tshwete, the Minister of Health, Madam Shabalala Msimang, the Minister of Transport, Omar, Broadcast, Telecommunications, and there we had the finest captains of industry, sports and youth, and tourism lastly. The one issue which generated a lot of discussion was a question of crime and the World Cup 2006. And clearly to us, if we're going to move our society from despair to hope, the World Cup must be a project of hope for us. It is one of the fundamental reasons as to why we took a decision that we want to pursue the World Cup. Pursue it as another pillar of hope for the first successful transition on the African continent. South Africa had the first president who was, after liberation, democratically elected, and after one term say, "Thank you very much, I had enough, I'm out of here." All of the other presidents, once they're in, you had to get an army to get them out. And we want to make that contribution to a democracy that is stable. And we see, besides the business and the sporting benefits, besides its contribution to the world of football, and we will deal with those issues when we make the presentation on the case for South Africa to host 2006. It is about the project of hope. And it is in that context, then, that I want to look at crime. Crime clearly can fit into the category of hope because we come from a past where crime was state policy. The army, the police, the secret police had a programmatic approach to working with criminals, and the whole society was criminalized. And when we ask where do we stand today, are we better off or worse off? We certainly believe that we are moving away to hope. But besides crime as a societal issue, what about the World Cup? What about our ability to safeguard that event? We had made special attempts. Firstly, we had an international security symposium, brought in security experts. Secondly, we've dedicated 10% of our budget to security measures. Security is important. Ask the English cricketers who just concluded 3 months in our country. Not a single incident. Over 60 major internationals in our country, 6 million people, not a single crime incident. When it comes to event management and securing the event, we've done it. Our track record speaks for itself. But when it comes to society, yes, we have crime. And so we have, in the process of transition, the issue of crime. And in the world, we can do two things. We can either say crime is a part of the project of hope as a society move forward, or let us use crime as a baton for despair. Let's use crime as a weapon to beat them back into despair. And I think very often when I look at those issues, it is, after all, the explanations, as much as we can explain, there is a concerted effort and a body in this world that want to use crime as a weapon to beat South Africa back into despair. And that is a question. We would like you to probe everything. We'll give you all the information. And we believe that you will see the issue of hope and despair as a central theme that we are pursuing. Hope for South Africa and the African continent, for the world of football. And we hope that you understand that that is our hope. Thank you.